My sister, it is time. Stand up.
Thank you for joining me tonight.
We are wonder. We are the limbs. We are balance. We are still. We are open. We are trust. We are wisdom. We are love.
You're loud. You ready? Last time.
Oh, my sister, it is time.
Oh, it is.
Stand up. Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up. Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up.
It is time.
Oh, my sister, it is time.
It is time.
Stand up. Oh,
We're
my
nearly done. We're going to be ready to stand up.
it is time. Stand up.
You ready now?
Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up.
Oh my gosh, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm so excited. So this is my first ever time I've ever done an open house discovery session, really, so to speak. And I'm going to be totally transparent with you tonight. I have absolutely no script, and I did that on purpose. Although for you S.W.A.T students or new S.W.A.T graduates who are doing discovery sessions, you definitely want to create a script for yourself so that you know what the purpose and the intention of your call is. And when you're meeting someone, you're going to actually have sort of a plan that you bring them through your services or what you offer. And then there's going to be a call to action at the end. So what I want to give tonight to everyone is, whether you're already a S.W.A.T student listening, thank you, I see some of you, welcome, I love you. And we have actually over 50 people registered for the call. So whether people come on live tonight or they watch it over the next few days, I'm so grateful to those of you who are already S.W.A.T students that have joined me tonight. But here's what I want for you. If you're a S.W.A.T student, part of this process tonight is to show you how I really essentially bring a new potential student into the school. So there's going to come a day, or there's already a day in your life and where you're working or your business, that you're already doing these type of discovery sessions. You're already chatting with women or people to bring them into your service or your world and what you do and your healing work or your empowerment work. So part of what I want to do tonight is to model to you sort of the outline of what I do when I'm doing a discovery session. And then to those of you that are new and you're actually here for the very first time, and we had so many new people into our world, like, no word of a lie, there's probably 30 brand new, that may not seem a lot, but 30 brand new people who just are like, I want to find out about S.W.A.T tonight. So I'm so excited. And if you're not on the call live tonight and you're listening to a recording, I'm just so grateful and thankful that you're watching and that you're listening tonight. So to you, I'm doing the same thing, twofold. I'm going to tell you about the school. I'm going to hopefully share my screen and take you in behind the scenes and show you a little bit about what the school is, go through the pricing and the payment plans, and to really impress upon you that no matter where you're at in your life, if these programs speak to you, reach out to me, because I'm the owner. So guess what? I can make things happen. And we can work out what you need to get you started. And that's my number one mandate, is that I have built something that I believe in. And I feel so passionate about what I've created. I'm just going to do a little, there we go. I feel so passionate about what I've created that I actually have the confidence now. That's really what it is the confidence to get on a call like this and to bring you through my world and what I've created and to share it with you in a way that I really believe can empower you and can excite you and can change your life like it's changed mine and it's changed so many women. We have more than 444 students. Some have left the Facebook group, some never joined because they're not into Facebook. But I thought it was pretty magical because as of today, when we're doing the call, we have 444 women who are doing either the Master Empowerment Coach or the Personal Empowerment Coach that are still part of that private Facebook group. So 444. And of course, if you look up the meaning of 444, now here I go, woo woo. And all my professors that are very scientific would say, Crystal, why do you do the woo-woo? Because it's part of what I am. So part of what the S.W.A.T Institute is, 444, the angels are watching over us. We're all in this safe space. So part of what I do is I bring Eastern philosophy, Eastern medicine, so to speak, a way of being that's been around for 5,000 plus, we know, much longer than that, but that's been documented. And then I love to combine it with the Western approach because the Western approach has gotten a bad rap from the Eastern approach, and the Eastern approach has gotten a bad rap from the Western approach, but both have such important lessons to teach us. And so part of what we have created at the S.W.A.T Institute, and when I say we, it really has been a really big group effort. Yvonne McCrae, who is the dean of our school, and she's also the professor of nutrition. Gosh, when Yvonne and I started building this way back in the day, she is a registered dietitian. She is a diabetes educator, and she's passionate about helping people, but also using true science to make sure that we're backing up what we're saying. And so Yvonne really brought a level of professionalism to the school. And it would never have been the same if Yvonne hadn't been our dean. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. And although I've lived in the Western world of Western beauty and Western success and Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and sales and how to market yourself. And I really understood at a really young age the power of our thoughts and that you can be anything, you can do anything. And I had this very, whatever you might call that, I was able just at the right time in my life to get the right type of training around empowerment. I had a mother that was a feminist and was empowered in many ways, and I learned a lot from her. And I had a father that was a chauvinist and empowered in many ways, and I learned a lot from him. And somehow I was able to take pieces of all of that. And then I remember, of course, Oprah Winfrey, her very first TV show that came out when I was 16. And I was living on my own at that time. But I'd already had some programming. And I remember when Oprah came out, and I remember watching her and thinking, like, it just opened up the whole world of possibilities to me. Like, it was instantly like, if she can do it, it can be done. Like, it wasn't if she can do it, I'm going to do it exactly like her. It was like, if she can do it, it shows me that it can be done. And my brain has always sort of seeked out people who have done it already and thought, I want to put my own spin on it, because you always want to be yourself. You always want to put your own, you always want to tweak it to be you. And the closer that you get to knowing who you are, the closer that you get to healing the wounds that are preventing you from being who you are, the easier it is to know who you are and to be you. And then to take what's already working, that we see it working, we don't need to reinvent the wheel, and to make it yours. It's really important to make it yours. So at a very young age, at 18, 21, I was already into the business world. I was into the success world of the fitness world. I'd opened my own health club. So I had a kind of success that was like really rare for how young I was. I was competing in the Miss Galaxy. At 18, I'd won the Miss Ontario Bodybuilder. So I was already this overachiever. But I remember the first time that Oprah Winfrey, because I watched every single one of her shows, and I remember the first time she brought Deepak Chopra, Ageless Body, Timeless Body, no, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind onto her show. And I was completely in awe. Listening to Deepak Chopra talk about the tears that we cry when we're sad are different than the tears that we cry when we're happy. They have a different chemical makeup. Like, he talked about eating when you're upset and what happens in your body versus eating when you're in joy. And he talked about not being around, like, don't eat with somebody that you don't like because of what it will. It was so unbelievable that it was literally like this first awakening to something I already knew, but it was remembering it in my own being. And it felt so comfortable. And I was like, wow, there's just such beauty in both of these worlds, this world and this world. And then, of course, I watched Oprah for 25 years. And here's what's amazing. I have had the opportunity, when I first self-published my very first book in 2003, and then in 2004 it got picked up by Louise Hay, which I'm going to hopefully remember to put all these connecting dots without my notes together, and I was picked up by Hay House Publishing, and I did 3 books with Hay House Publishing. And during that time, I also, not even related to Louise Hay, not even related to Hay House Publishing, was booked to do a cruise with Deepak Chopra called A Journey to Healing. And then I had the opportunity to interview Deepak Chopra. And that might seem like a big deal or not a big deal, but when it first happened, it was a big deal. And it's still, like, let's be honest, like Deepak Chopra, I'm one person removed from Oprah. But then here's what became really interesting is that, anyways, I could go on and on about all the synchronicities and the interesting connections of when you decide to step into your power. And you decide to invest in yourself, of how the dots in your life start to connect. And it's not because you don't have to connect them. They're there waiting for you to do your part for them to connect. They're there anyways. We're all connected by 6 degrees of separation. Literally every single person in the world, through 6 relationships, you know everyone. It's kind of crazy. Now that I'm one person removed from Oprah many, many times with many, many people, and then to have finally gotten the email to let me know that my latest book, The Emotional Edge, this past year was going to be featured on Oprah.com. I mean, that's just amazing affirmation to say you're on track. Louise Hay was a book that my mother read and would have told me I had to read over and over and over when I was 13 or 14 years old when it first came out. I just happened to be at that critical timing. Now, does that mean my life was easy? No, I had a really tough go at many points in my early life and throughout my life. But I had this foundational thinking. I had this way of solution finding. I had this way of training my brain to not focus on the problem, but to focus on the solution. And I remember when I'd done 3 books with Louise Hay, like that in itself, right? That I would self-publish a book and then just send it down to Hay House and then get the phone call that Louise saw it and she loves you and we're flying you down to California and we're publishing that self-published book. And then that book did so well. And then to do 2 more books with Hay House, and then to do the I Can Do It's with Hay House, and then to meet all these incredible people, Marianne Williamson, of course, Dr. Wayne Dyer, many, 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 many times, and all these amazing people that were all my mentors. I'm just a country girl living in a small town in Ontario. So it's really true that you don't have to come from New York or LA to make it. Because if you're in a small town in the UK or in Australia or in India or in Canada or the United States or wherever you might be in the world right now, because we literally have women from all over the world who have not only signed up for this call, but who are part of our S.W.A.T Institute and the work that we do. And so the work that we do is so much bigger than just a coaching certification. And I have a couple of the graduates, I think, on tonight. And in the next little bit, I would love to open up the video lines to have a chit chat with a couple of them, and nobody's been asked to be here, not one person. So anyone that is here and that wants to share, thank you. I'm so grateful to you. But it's really sharing from your heart about what the S.W.A.T. Institute is to you, how it's maybe, your biggest takeaways from it, what you learned most, and what you would share to a new student. I would love to hear that, because I think our new students need to hear from graduates. Is it working? Are you successful? That all matters. So in 2009, still talking just off the cuff here, in 2009, the Dalai Lama came to Canada. And at that point, I'd done 2 books. I was just getting ready to do a 3rd book with Hay House. And the Dalai Lama told a sold out audience here in Vancouver, not here, in Vancouver, the Western woman will heal the world. Wow. That was so huge for me. It was like the permission I needed. And it's the permission you need. We're being called. We are being called right now to heal the world. And the way that we heal the world is to first heal ourselves. And it's not selfish, it's factual. And then once you've healed yourself, the way that you show up in your relationships change. And the way that you see people changes. And the way that you see them changes. And so they literally change. You learn new coping skills, and you understand what empowerment actually feels like, looks like, sounds like, and you learn to observe yourself so that you recognize, wow, where am I really resonating, and what would I need to do to get myself higher? So when the Dalai Lama came here in 2009, I said, I got to build that school that I literally had written about in my very first book in 2003. I knew it was going to be the S.W.A.T, Simply Woman, because that was the name of the first book, Simply Woman, the 12-week total transformation, body, mind, soul telecourse, something, or not telecourse, it was the program at the time. And then I knew, no, the day was going to come, and I knew it, because at that time, before I'd written the book, I'd been running the gyms, my health clubs, and I had trained some of the personal trainers in there. That personal training, to really get someone feeling great, it's not about a bench press. Bench press is a bench press is a bench press. It's not about a bench press. It's about the way we talk to ourselves about ourselves. It's the way we feel about ourselves. It's the way we treat ourselves. It's the way we've taught ourselves if we're safe or not. Like, are we safe in the world? It's about facing ourselves. It's about learning why we do what we do. And it's a brain thing. It's a protective mechanism. And then it's learning new, healthier, stronger, more empowered ways, and then practicing it until you realize, wow, I not only love myself, I like myself. And because I like myself and I love myself, it's really so much easier to make confident and good choices for myself. So it's never about the diet or the bench press or the bank account or the budget or restrictions, or what you can't have or what you can't do. It's about healing the underlying stuff, which can be done so fast with these processes and interventions, so that you can remember who you really are before you had to start covering up your greatness to fit into your family and your world. So in 2009, I said, I'm going to build this school. And at that point, I had been very, very discerning, and I'm going to say gracious about the relationships that I'd built, the friendships I'd built through all the I Can Do It events, all the authors that I'd met. I had my own radio show on Hay House Radio, Sirius Satellite. Then I got a radio show on CBS radio. And I'd met so many incredible people at that point that I thought, I've never asked anybody for a favor. In fact, I didn't know how to ask people for favors, because I've been on my own since I was so young and nobody had ever done anything for me. So I learned how to be really self-reliant. And I knew really in an honest moment, there was a strategy to not asking for favors for about 6 years, because I knew the day was going to come that I wanted to ask for a favor and not seem like I'm constantly trying to take advantage or I'm trying to ride your coattails. I'm building my own coattails. And see, when you build your own coattails, other people want to get in the boat with you. When you're in the boat and you're drowning, or you're in the boat and your boat is sinking, and you're like, please, someone come and someone save me. No one wants to get in the boat with you. So your job is actually to make yourself a fierce rower make yourself so that you realize, like, no one's coming to save me. I've learned how to save myself. And see, when you know how to save yourself, suddenly everyone wants in your boat. And actually, other really successful people who know how to save themselves all want to get in a boat together, because they're like, shit, if you figured it out and I figured it out and you figured it out and you figured it out, imagine what we could do if we all just joined forces and we don't compete and we don't compare and we don't try to do what each other does. We celebrate each other and come together. So at that point, I knew it's not the Crystal Andrus School. I didn't want it to be that. I wanted this thing to stand the test of time long after I was here. And I thought Simply Woman accredited trainer. Now you got to realize trainer was the word back in the day. Nobody was a coach. The only person that was a coach was the coach of your basketball team or your soccer team. Nobody was a coach. We were trainers. We were teachers. We were trainers. Now it's interesting. We're launching S.W.A.T, which is Simply Woman Accredited Yoga. I'm so excited about our yoga certification that's coming and our network that's coming. We're launching next weekend, actually at the World Fitness Expo. Simply Woman Accredited Trainer, Simply Woman Accredited Yogi. You'll be a yogini, a Simply Woman Accredited yogini. And it's just exciting what's happening. So at that time in 2009, I reached out to Louise Hay, and I basically said, I have this dream of building a school that will empower women and give them the tools they need to empower other women. I want to create a shortcut, a learning curve. I want to shorten the learning curve because I can't believe the amount of money I've spent. And I am still above the game. I'm still ahead of the game, but half the time I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. And don't kid yourself. When you're an entrepreneur, you got to get good at going with the flow, swaying. You got to be a willow tree. You cannot be a mighty oak that like snaps when the wind comes or the tornadoes come through. You have to know how to sway and ebb and flow into life. So I reached out. Louise said, yes, I love the idea of what you're doing. I'd like to join. So I said, I'd like to use your book, You Can Heal Your Life. We'll create quizzes and assignments around that work because it's so powerful. It was a book that changed my life, my mother's life. And she said, yes. And I was like, can I interview you as a lecturer for the students? She said, yes. I was like, oh my God, this is going to come together. I'm always building the runway while the plane's taking off. But now the runway's built. And we've built a 6-star hotel. And then I reached out to Dr. Christiane Northrup. I said, your book changed my life. I actually was able to do some events with Dr. Christiane Northrup. I was able to do some events called The Power Within for women. And The Power Within, I got to travel and do events with like Dr. Phil. And I got to meet Dr. Sir Richard Branson. And, you know, just these crazy events, Bill Clinton. And I was like, how am I on the stage doing 5,000, 6,000 people in attendance? It was just mind-blowing that this was just all unfolding for me. Anyway, so then I reached out to Marianne Williamson. I said, could we use your book, Weight Loss for People Who Feel Too Much? Because that book is so powerful for helping you identify the voice of whatever that sabotager is. Eat too much, the food addiction, drink too much, alcoholic, drug addiction, shopping, like, I would love to use that work. She said, yeah, absolutely. Marianne Williamson. So I said, Marianne, can we do a lecture? Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. Marianne, Colette Baron Reed, Sandra and Taylor, every single person, Greg Braden, every person I reached out to said, I'm in. It's like, wow, we're building something incredible. And we did. We ended up building a program that I didn't want to worry about how long it was going to take. I wanted to build it for the lifelong learner. I wanted to build a program for the woman that said, I read books anyways all the time. I'm taking courses all the time. At the end of this thing, I want to know what I'm doing. I want the meat and potatoes. And I'm a vegetarian, but there's so many coaching programs out there. I don't want to do some dinky winky weekend thing or some 6 weeks. Because listen, we live in a world now where it's very transparent. People know you. They're going to see your posts. They're going to follow your life. They're actually going to watch you and say, is she living the life I want? I want to give you the tools for you to create the life you want. You, first and foremost. And then, how would we do this with someone else? And then, How do we teach you how to make money doing this? Because we have so many women now, out of those 444, some are medical doctors, some are chiropractors, some are, like, we have a doctor from Ethiopia, we have a woman from Kenya, that's what's happening. And these are some of them so well educated, but say, no one ever taught me how to make money, so I want to learn that part of it from you. Or I'm a therapist and no one really actually taught me interventions and processes that can turn things around fast for people. That's an integrative sort of type of psychology that we can do this in 3 or 6 sessions. Now, I'm not saying they don't need follow-up and they don't need love and maintenance and care, but we have interventions and processes that are like, they work fast. So we built the S.W.A.T Institute, and we started signing women up. And then at first, it was like the first probably 50 women who signed up didn't know what they were in for. And I think they came in and they were like, whoa, I thought this was going to be like a 12-week telecourse. This is like serious work. I'm really going to be like a nutritionist, have a really incredible understanding of women's health and wellness and psychology. I completely have immersed myself in the empowerment process and the interventions. I've been coached by their mentor coaches, which are women who are getting ready to graduate. So we want you to practice with real women. And now I'm coaching real women. And now I'm going into module 3, and I'm actually learning what my niche is, how to build a website, how to build a shopping cart, how to build a telecourse or a summit, how to get a following, understanding social media. Holy moly. This is like going to university. So it is. I want you to actually get that. For those of you that want the Master Empowerment Coach certification, but you won't fail. You're not going to university and someone's going to say, you didn't get that. No. If you come in on the first, it doesn't matter what assignment. You come in and you didn't quite get it right. We would never go, you failed. We're never going to we're just going to keep working with you until you go, oh my God, I got it. And this feels so good. So I'm not just learning like I'm in school taking some stupid course. I'm learning about me. This is the greatest gift I've ever given to myself. Bev Pickard, when she graduated, and she's now our professor of women's health and wellness, she actually used the words, Crystal, this was epic, monumental, life-changing. She works for us now. As each of these women came through and began to graduate, but see, there was still a really large number that were not moving through as fast. So we thought, wow, I don't know that all women want this level of empowerment education. And I don't want to say they didn't want that level of confidence, but some of them just got bogged down in life. It's the same thing that happens when you join the gym and then you're like, oh my God, I paid for this gym membership and I'm not using it. Or I've signed up for this thing and I'm not using it. So we were like, okay, what can we do for the women who want to fast track it? Maybe they're already a nutritionist. Maybe they don't, I think it's important to get it. But maybe they're already a doctor or they're already a coach. And they're like, Crystal, I need the meat and potatoes. I need to learn your coaching interventions because nobody does it like you. And I'm sorry to say it, but at this point, there's not a heck of a lot of people that do it like me. That's factual. Like, I just have unbelievably amazing results. And I've actually created a formula. And that's where the brilliance is, because if you can do something that becomes duplicatable, then you can teach this. And that's where it gets bigger. So we've created this amazing formula. When Professor Isabella Viscopova came on board, she actually first came to me for 3 coaching calls. And we did the 3 coaching calls. And then she said, I'm a psychologist. I have my psychology degree, my master's. And then I thought, psychology, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Or law first. I became a lawyer first. And then I realized law is not what I thought it was going to be for me. I'm not going to get that joy doing that I thought I was going to get. So maybe psychology. Then she went through and did her master's in psychology and then came to me, did the coaching calls. And in 3 calls, she said, I need to do your program. So she did the master program. She finished that off and then, man, she was just brilliant. And we have a lot of our student calls saved. She would just ask question after question after question. And what's so great about having students that ask questions is it actually really solidifies you as a teacher. You gotta know your stuff. And it just helped make me stronger every time there was another question. Because if you can learn how to ask your clients the right questions, you'll draw greatness out of them. If you can learn how to ask yourself the right questions, you'll draw greatness out of you. So she would ask me these great questions. And then she decided, like, I've done that. Like, she's obviously a lifelong learner. So then she said, I'm going to go do the Tony Robbins strategic intervention. So she did that. And she came back to me and said, I mean, Isabella, you said it in your words, and it was many, many years ago, but something along the lines of, I've never, ever learned like I've learned from you, like something like that. And maybe she doesn't even talk like that. She would be like, Crystal. And no, she doesn't talk quite like that, but she would say, I learned so much from you. I want to work for you. I want to work for you. In fact, I want to help you build up personal empowerment coach certification, because your formula is so brilliant that we need to give that to therapists. Just the formula. Forget about the business coaching, forget about the nutrition, forget about the women's, forget about all of it. Let's build a fast track program for someone that doesn't need all of it or doesn't want all of it. And that's the personal. They don't need all the feedback on assignments. They just need to learn it. And then when they're ready, we're going to still give them mentorship coaching. We're going to give them women to coach. We're going to listen, because we do that. We say, give us 3 of your best or worst calls. Let us listen and spend time with you and critique it. Say, see how you did that? Amazing. See that? This is what I would tweak. You're really getting such one-on-one attention, healing, empowerment from really, truly empowered women who are living it in their own lives and walking it every day. So that's the difference between the master and the personal. The master, you get so much feedback from professors. I'm actually going to pull up the page right now of sort of the differences between the two. So the master would be, if you haven't seen this yet, the little chart is sort of that you're not necessarily feeling like an expert right now in a particular field, but you want to become an expert in empowerment coaching. You want to really acquire a strong skill set, but you also want to learn the periphery, so to speak, of coaching, such as the nutrition and the fitness and the well-being and the psychology and the business. You are highly self-motivated, but you really love feedback. You love having the assignments, feedback from professors. You're motivated by being graded. That's not a bad thing. That's like, it can be euphoric when you do a test and you're like, oh my God, I got 100% or 80%. And you really want to experience your own healing. You really want to experience your own healing as well. You really want to experience the business side of it. Now, the personal is more for that woman who's maybe already a nutritionist or a therapist, a personal trainer, a healer, but you want really stronger coaching skills to assist your clients in their success. You don't need to learn the periphery. You don't care about learning about nutrition or fitness or wellness or well-being. Like, it's not that those things aren't important. Maybe you've already got them in your toolkit. You're highly motivated, but you don't need grades from professors right now. You just want to get in and do this fast and learn it. And you want to be in and out in 3 months. Like, you want to do this. And if it's longer, it's only because you're practicing on your mentorship coaching, but you've done your work and you're on this. You're not as concerned at this point about your personal healing or your personal transformational journey. You're just wanting to get trained really in empowerment coaching as a unique skill set. So that would be the difference between the two. And I'm actually going to go through the pricing tonight, and I don't normally do that. Now, for those of you who one day want to be a coach, or for those of you that are coaches, here's how a normal discovery session would go. So I would call the person up, and I can even show you, I have a calendar people can book. And anyone that's on the call tonight, if you're listening and you're thinking, okay, Crystal, I got to get on a phone call with you because I got to figure out my budget. I got to figure out a payment plan. I want to do this. I've actually opened up my schedule from 10 o'clock tomorrow until 5 o'clock tomorrow, after 10 o'clock tomorrow morning till 5 o'clock. It's supposed to be every half an hour, but somehow right now they're showing up as hour-long spots. And I'm there for you. And also Friday. So I'm literally like, I'm going to help women that are ready to get started. We're going to jump on a phone call. I'm the owner. I'm going to do what it takes to make this work. We're going to find a plan that fits your budget, and we're going to make it happen for you. So for those of you that are coaches, normally a discovery session would work like this. I would call the woman up. I would call her, because that's smart for you to call her, because if you're waiting for her to call you, she might forget, and then you don't get your discovery session and your time is money. So you want to be able to call her, and you want to definitely, even with mine, the way I set it up is they would get like a notification about 15 minutes before to know I'm calling. And so I would call that woman up and I would say, hey, it's Crystal calling from the S.W.A.T Institute. We booked a discovery session. Normally how this works is that I just love to find out a little bit about you, how you found out about me, and sort of like where you're at right now. And then I will go through the difference between the Master Empowerment Coach certification and the personal. And then I'd love to go through the prices. We can go through payment plans, and then we can find, hopefully, if it resonates, we can find something to fit your budget. You're really telling that woman at the beginning of the call, if this resonates, I'm here with you right now. I'm giving you this time right now. And if it doesn't resonate, no problem. But if it resonates, this is our time to get out our calculators and do what must be done to get this deal closed. This is our time. This is the time. Everything in our life has led us to this moment to be on this phone call right now. So I'm letting you know that I am going to be giving you an opportunity to take the next steps with me. So tonight, I'm going to be giving you an opportunity to take the next steps with me. The next thing that I would do on a discovery call or discovery session, Queen Mother, is I would ask them to tell me a little bit, how did you find out about me? That's a great way to just get a feel for where they're at. Like, are they in love with you? Like, and I don't mean in love with you, but have they been following you for a while? Do they believe you? Do they trust you? Do you need to actually really, explain to them who you are, what you do, or does this person sort of already have a pretty good handle on you? Sometimes one will say, oh, I just Googled women's empowerment. You're the first name that popped up. And no, actually, I really don't know anything about who you are. You have to build rapport with that woman. You never, ever, ever just go into, these are my courses and these are the prices, ever. Like that might be the last 10 minutes of an hour-long call. You really are getting to know each other. I do business coaching, and I have this incredible opportunity now with the Canadian Ontario job grant program, the Canadian government. And it was crazy when I got contacted and they basically said, we love the work that you're doing, and we would love if you could maybe work with business women in Ontario, help getting their businesses in a better place. And it's covered under the Ontario job grant program. In other words, we'll pay for the training for you to go in. And I was like, this is crazy. But one of the things that I really recognized, and I just had a little blip in my brain without notes. What was I getting at? Oh, see, there's just a little blip. So I was like, you weren't supposed to go off on that. You're supposed to be on this. Anyways, I don't even know where I just went with that. So we're going to get back to it. So, getting to know them. Getting to know them. It's such an important part of a sale. Of selling someone is letting them, I don't want to say it like this, but sell themselves. You don't want to sell yourself to somebody. You want to, I know what I was going to say. So I was saying just today in a meeting with this company that I'm working with, I said, because she said something along the lines of like, I understand this, I get it. Like there's times I've done like $1 million deals with somebody, the company, and then we go out for a glass of wine afterwards, and I'm just taking you for $1 million. And then I stopped her and said, that's a masculine way of thinking. You're not taking anybody for anything. I'm not taking anyone for anything. I didn't take you for $56,000. That was the deal I did. I didn't take you for $56,000. This is a win-win. I'm going to bring you $56,000 worth of training, and you're going to learn so much, and you're going to make millions because of that training. So the feminine approach is, I'm going to bring as much to you, and then you're going to bring back to me, and we're going to take care of each other. It's like a tennis match. I don't want to get out and like play with a child and smash the ball in their face over and over and decimate someone. I want it to be, this is fun. And a discovery session only works if you realize that person wants what you're serving. They want what you're giving. So you want to share who you are, but you don't want to sell yourself. You want to say, tell me about what you know. And then if they don't know much, you want to get into some of the meat and potatoes. You want to share that, for example, for me, I've done 5 books. My latest book got on Oprah.com 3 times. It got on the Daily Mail. That's factual. It's hit newspapers and magazines literally all over the world, from Denmark and Switzerland and Sweden to Australia and New Zealand and Germany. And like, they're just places that's just factual. You want to share those things to say, I have accountability and I have integrity. I can say to people, Google my name. I've been in business online since 2003, and you won't find one complaint about me. Not one that I've ever found, because there haven't been any. And I'm not saying there haven't. I have a way that I don't go to war with anybody. Like, I want to bring the best out in every relationship I'm in. And I want women who join the school who want to be here. So I want to now listen to her, tell me about her life, tell me about where she's at, tell me about what she wants, tell me about what her dreams are, and then I tell her about what we do. And together we start to decide, you just start to feel like this is going to be nice, this is going to be a nice fit. And if it's a nice fit, you want to do whatever you can to make that work. If it's not a nice fit, you need to have trust and faith in yourself, to trust yourself, to know, to listen to yourself. So I always say, I will even say to women, pray on it. Pray on it. If it feels right, let me know. We'll get this done. With that being said, I, in my mind, in my intentions, when I do a discovery call, have full intentions, if it's a right fit, that we're going to do that deal. We're going to close this up and get you started today. So I will always do what I call a first visit incentive. And so tonight I'm going to be offering a first visit incentive, even if you've been here before. But tonight is our first visit incentive. So anyone who's listening to this night, I am going to talk to you about what that means. So I will often say to women, don't think a first visit incentive is a punishment. It isn't. Here's what I know. I've been in business just in the online world since 2003. Prior to that, I'd opened up health clubs. And my very first one I opened at 21. Bought my first house at 18. I was an entrepreneur, from the start. But here's what I always knew. Women will come into my health club and they say, I really want to do this. I need to think about it. And I would, you never want to press. So I'd say, yeah, no problem. Over time, I learned that the woman that was thinking about it would come back a year later and say, I want to sign up now. And I'm like, weren't you here a year ago? She was like, yeah, I needed to think about it. What did you need to think about? I don't know. So I've actually learned in a call now to have the courage and the confidence to say to a woman, help me understand so I can help you. What part of it do you need to think about? Is it the price? Is it the program? Is it me? Like what, just so I can help you. Because if it's the price, let's talk. We can create a payment plan. We'll find something that fits your budget. If it we can make, if it's the program, tell me, because I might not be explaining things properly. Most often, it's just what we say. So one of the questions I will often ask a woman is, how long have you been thinking about wanting to make a career change? How long have you been thinking about wanting to make more money? How long have you been thinking about wanting to be more empowered? How long have you been thinking about it? And if she laughs, that's usually the first good sign. If she laughs and goes, oh, I've been thinking about it for 20 years. I just, it popped into my head. I remember I went to St. Anne's Spa, and I was getting, St. Anne's Spa is just this wonderful spa in Canada. And I remember going there. I don't know why, I just laughed my head off. And we both did for about 15 minutes of my facial. So, I'm laying down on the table. It just popped into my head just now, so I have to tell the story. And the woman says, so do you have any issues I need to know about? I just about killed myself laughing. I said, I got a lot of issues, but I don't know if it's anything you can take care of. So she did my facial, and then we just chuckled. We just had a chuckle for about 15 minutes off and on. It just came out so funny, and we laughed. So here's the reality is there are some things, but there are some things I can help you with. There are some issues I can help you with. And sometimes when a woman says, I need to think about it, what she's really saying is, I'm scared. I don't know if I'm worthy. I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to fail. Do you think I can do it? Really? And really what I need to say to her is, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? In the health club industry, I finally learned to give women a push And without fail, they would come back and thank me 3 months later, 6 months later. Thank you so much for giving me that push because you changed my life. Now, when I first opened the S.W.A.T Institute in 2009, I was really scared to push people. In fact, I never did discovery sessions until about 6 months ago. You know why? I was scared. I built the school, but I was still like, is it good? Do they like me? Do they like me? Do they like it? Is it good? Will they be successful? I really hope they are. Oh my God, I want to do this right. I want to do right by these women. I built a magazine so that we can support you guys. And this is another thing that I really want to share now. It's like, I've built all these things, build it and they will come. And everyone's starting to come now. And I want to use what I've built from the magazine to help support you. If you're a writer, I want to share your work in the magazine. I want to link on social media, magazine, Facebook, your website, what we're doing. I want to create, and that's what's happening now. Now I have this opportunity to see graduates from around the world who are happier, who are healthier, who say, that was life-changing for me. And I would love, just before I get into pricing, if there's anybody that's a student right now or a graduate, and I know it's a small group of us right now on the line, but if there's anybody that would be willing to maybe go on video if they felt like it, who's a graduate, or at least on the phone, to do that, because I would love to be able to share a testimonial from a real life student that hasn't been put on the spot and hasn't been asked. So I see Sasha. Sasha, I'm going to unmute your line.
Hi.
Oh, I haven't seen you in forever. You're thriving. How are you doing?
Good. Now I do this all the time, and I'm so nervous unmuting my line talking to you.
Oh my gosh. I do this all the time now, Sasha.
No, and my daughter Aria is over here. I signed up for S.W.A.T.
My beautiful little girl in the background. What's your daughter's name? I just saw fabulous pictures of her.
This is Aria.
Aria.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I signed up for S.W.A.T when she was just born. She was just in a carrying case on me. She was 1 month old when I signed up. So.
Wow, Sasha, you've had, so I'm gonna try, I want to look at you, but I'm going to look into the mic so that everybody doesn't think that I'm looking at some weird part of the screen. So tell me where you were at and where, like, just from your heart, like, just speak from your heart, where you were at, where you are now, and what influence or impact I had on your life or S.W.A.T had on your life.
Absolutely. Well, epic, life-changing decision of my life can sum up all of it. Truly, you, Crystal, and S.W.A.T Institute have saved my marriage, got me to a truly empowered place. I'm now in my own communities. People often refer to me having the best mindset on the planet, which is directly because of your empowerment interventions. Wow. In the process of learning how to coach, I needed to coach myself. And so where I was when I signed up for S.W.A.T was I had all these dreams of being on Oprah and having this coaching business and having financial autonomy. I felt really trapped, though. I thought, how on earth am I going to create this? My husband was working 80 hours a week. I was alone with my 2 little girls with no access to money, and I didn't know how to meet my own needs or get what I needed in my life. And my sister forwarded me your emails. Like, she said, you have to check out Crystal. You have to check out Crystal. Mm-hmm. And it was the 4th one that I finally got on something like this. It was a conference line, though. It wasn't a Zoom room. It was
because back then it was just telephones.
Yeah. And I remember crying, and my kids were looking, the little ones, the newborn and the 2-year-old, looking at me. And I just thought, if she can do it, I can do it. Just like you said. And I thought, at that time, I couldn't even look myself in the mirror. I was so confused about, what am I doing here? And I couldn't run away. I didn't want to run away, but
I got to run away. But then there's a part of us that just wants to run away. It's that battle of like, I want to run away, but I know that I'd be filled with so much regret if I did that, but I don't know how to stay. Mm-hmm. I don't have the tools to know how to stay and be happy.
Exactly. And so I was creating a lot of emotional drama in my marriage, a lot of self-destructive choices. I was trying my best, though. I really was. I was showing up.
And you're successful. You're a successful woman. So I see you a lot like me. You're younger than me, and I always see you almost like a little sister. You're so fabulous. But you had the energy and the desire, and there was something about you, but just like me. So it was like we were already probably interesting thinkers. We were probably already different than other people in our mind, and we are. But we didn't have sort of the roadmap or the formula to actually figure out, like, how do I do this and get there? And Sasha, I will say this about S.W.A.T. is it's not and this isn't to say anything for what anybody else does. Some people do Oracle and some people do business and some people do, this isn't coaching, this is training. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really clear that you're going to get your mentorship coaches, but this is really the training that gives you the tools to know how to go out there and do what you're doing.
Absolutely. And the coaching industry is based in the ancient art of mentorship and apprenticeship. So we don't need certifications, but I would not be the coach I am today if it wasn't for the training I got from you and from S.W.A.T. And for anyone, a coach or wanting to be a coach or a therapist, I mean, even just being in your energy and the community, it rubs off on you. You just need to be in the right, be in the right community. And then of course the training is impeccable, but it really was before and after. And just completing the program, I was a really good starter, but I didn't finish things very often. And so by completing S.W.A.T, the Master Empowerment Training, I felt this new level of confidence. Not only did I do a lot of emotional healing and forgiveness of some shameful past stuff that I think we all have our versions of that, I felt unstoppable. I was so happy. I was taking so much responsibility for my results. And it was just the beginning. Now I have this amazing coaching career and get to help my hundreds of clients worldwide, all from right here with kids. And it's just,
I just love seeing, like, just watching. You're like my little, like, we have so many amazing star students, as I call them, but I don't want to say little because you're not little. You're glorious and fantastic. And I don't mean little, but I mean it like, like just watching you is like, it's sort of like watching my children in a different way. Like they're, Madeline just left tonight to go to Portugal and Spain. Julia's flying down to LA in a week. Like when you realize that you've actually given your children the training in life to prepare them for their greatness, and then they are great. That's what I feel like with you. Like you did it. You did so much of your own work and your own training, but to be a small part of giving you some of the skills, and then to watch you like step into your greatness and your beauty the way you have. And I get to watch your beautiful emails, the way they come out, the way you're so confident in your branding, the way you become so confident in your messaging. That's so fulfilling for me. Like, so thank you for doing such a great job at what you're doing and the great job you're doing with your children and your leadership. That's what we want. That's why it wasn't called the Crystal Andrus School. It's simply woman, because one day it's another woman that will be doing this, and it's women like you and me and the different women that are listening tonight. This is how we heal the world. This is what the Dalai Lama meant. We're really healing. Look at you. You're just like a beautiful woman.
Well, no, it's good. I mean, you're like my star. I mean, still, after we've spent time together, you've been so generous with me. I used to be terrified of speaking. For the first 6 months in S.W.A.T Institute, I would show up on these calls and I wouldn't speak. And something in me finally one night, like said, Crystal, like I couldn't even talk. And that's when I started actually doing the work. And so honestly, if I can do it, if I can go in terrified of having an opinion, I mean, you weren't a small.
Sasha, I gotta say this. I just don't mean to interrupt you, but when I met you, you to me were this little pretty flower. Like, I hate to say it like that, but you were just this gorgeous little waif of a flower. I think your hair was so blonde, and not that having gorgeous, really blonde hair, but your hair was so blonde. You were so tiny. You were so, like, you were just so, like, I was like, oh, she's just like a little, like, we just have to toughen her up a little bit. We just gotta get her a little tougher. I see you now as woman energy. Like, you're owning it, and that's beautiful. And that's the greatest gift you can give your daughters, is being the woman and the way you're showing up. And so I'm so grateful to you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm so grateful to you. And I don't want to minimize. I mean, I know you're so gracious, but you truly have been the most influential woman of my adult life. And so you being you has such a ripple effect. And that's what I love about coaching, going through your program and really owning our own empowerment. And then we really don't know the difference we're making. Like even today, I could say it to you, but you'll never know the difference you've made for me. My mom, who I love, was very disempowered and didn't model to me, you know, like it really was you that I took in as kind of that surrogate leadership woman figure for me. And it's been modeling. I still read all of your emails. I show up to as many trainings as I can. So thanks for this opportunity to just share a little bit. I mean, it's the best decision, whether you already have a business or not, just for who you'll become and the community and modeling you. It's just, you've got to join S.W.A.T. So.
Thank you. Thank you, my darling. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a little mute on your call. That was so kind and so generous. You're just such a beautiful soul, and I'm so excited for your success and to watch you continue to grow and expand and your beautiful children. I can't wait. Like my kids are now like flying off around the world. It's crazy to think like that was just me not that long ago. 2003, I had little kitties. Mike Madeline was born in 95 and 96 was Julia. And, you know, for me to see where I've grown, it's exciting. So ladies, tonight, what I want to do just before we have like 4 minutes left, I do want to open up my screen and do a little screen share because I'm actually going to go through some pricing with you because I want to be completely transparent. So let me go to my screen and I'm going to show you. The one I'm going to show you first is our PAC pricing. Our PAC is our Personal Empowerment Coach certification. Let me go back to my Zoom and I'm going to do a share screen. Here we go on my share screen right now. And I'm going to just scroll you down. I'm going to open this up all the way. So that's all we see. Hopefully you can see the screen right now. Can we see, I'm just going to check and make sure. Can someone give me a nod? Anto, can you give me a nod? Anto, if you can see the screen, will you nod your head? Yes. Okay. So even when I open it up all the way, yes. Okay. So here's the personal. Now here's what I want to show you about the personal pricing page. And I'm absolutely making this transparent. You can see the link at the top, swatinstitute.com/PAC-pricing. So this is our Personal Empowerment Coach certification. And the way that I've set it up, again, I want to be really clear that you understand this, that you're not being penalized if you need a payment plan. I designed every program to be a payment plan because I knew what it was like as a single mom in 2003 and even in 2009 when I wanted to build a school. I just thought I never want price to be a thing that stops a woman. So I'm going to show you the regular price and then all the way down to that first visit incentive. So if you make a decision after you watch this and in the next couple of days, there's going to be a first visit incentive, which is, and let me get to it. So let's scroll down the screen. So normally speaking, in a normal situation, that personal empowerment certification is worth $2,995 Canadian. Now for you Americans, I can do the money converter and I'm going to guess it's going to be around $2,200, something like that. So I'm going to go down. It's you can come back and see this page. There's lots of bonuses. I'm going to include the next upcoming telecourse for you right here. I'm going to that private Facebook group, that priceless connection with women from around the world. I'm like, that's worth $5,000. I said that. The Emotional Edge telecourse, it's going to start September 13th. It's actually worth $400, not $300. The weekly call with me, the weekly call with Professor Isabella, the weekly call with our student advisors, the mentorship coaching. You will have a coach for the rest of your life included in your tuition. If you want to coach once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, I put $5,000, but the truth is you'll never pay for a therapist again. You can become a featured writer in our Simply Women magazine, and you can begin to share the stage with our other students, graduates, professors. So if we were to break it into a payment plan, that PEC price is $500 down and $207 a month for 12 months. Now, that's the most expensive plan you're going to pay for. If that's a doable version, we can do this right now. It's easy. But here's what I actually want to say to you. I'm willing tonight to drop all the way down to the Platinum PEC plan, which is normally $1,995. We take $1,000 off because if you can pay it in full. Now, here's what I'm going to give you tonight. I want to give you an option that instead of having to do this bronze and pay $3,000, I'm going to give you a first visit incentive, and I'm actually going to take $1,000 off, and I will do a payment plan even for the $1,995, whatever that means for you. So I would love to jump on a phone call with you tomorrow or Friday, and I will work out either a paid in full, and I may even be able to play with that a little bit if you can pay it in full, or we'll do a payment plan for you for $19.95. And if you need 12 months to pay it off, whatever you need, we'll do that for you. Now I'm going to flip over to the master program. So this is the big one. This is the lifelong learner. It could take you 3 years. It could take you a year to 3 years to do this big one. This program, and normally $799, just under $8,000 Canadian. Again, all the bonus gifts. But here's what I'm going to do again tonight. And I do want to finish up at the top of the hour here. Is normally that one again would be $500 down and about $200 a month for just under 3 years. Here's what I want to offer tonight. I'm going to take you right down to the platinum plan, which is a paid in full, $4,995. If you can pay that in full, we will take another $1,000 off. If you can pay it in full in the next 2 days, you can do this plan for $3,995 Canadian, or a payment plan. We will do that for you for over 3 years. Like, it literally works out to like under $100 a month to get you started and get you enrolled. So I don't want to spend too much time on the money, because the money will always find its way. I want to just show you that we are here and I'm able to work with you. If any of this lights you up, I'm going to stop the share. If any of this lights you up, I would love to jump on a phone call with you tomorrow. You and me. Tell me about who you are. Tell me about what you love. Tell me about what you're interested in. And from there, I can sit down and I can find out where you're at. I can find out what kind of budget you're working with, and we can work something out and get you started. I would love to get you on board. I need more and more women who are ready to empower themselves, ready to empower their families. And if you really want to build a career, you're ready to empower the world. This is about healing ourselves, one magical, beautiful woman at a time. I want to thank everyone who joined us tonight. Thank you, Sasha Sterling. Thank you, everyone who came on the line. If we were doing a discovery session, let me tell you right now, this is when we begin to talk. I'd grab a calculator and we'd start to talk numbers. And I would say to them, if I could do this for you, would that be the thing to get you started? And I would wait. And she would say, yes, I want to get started. I want to get you started. And if you're ready to get started, I would love to have a chat with you tomorrow or Sunday. In the next hour, I'm going to be sending you an email. Please check your emails. It's going to have access to my calendar. It's also going to have the links for those buying pages. Now, just one quick thing back to the screen. If you decide, for example, you're like, I want this. I'm ready to do it right now. I don't even need a payment plan. You can go right down and click any one of these. Let me just share this. You could click any one of these. Like that would take you right to the buying page. And you'd be like, okay, I'm signing up for $4,995. Here's the thing. Don't do it. Let's jump on a phone call together, because I'm even willing to take $1,000 off as a first visit incentive. That would mean you would sign up for $3,995 for like a freaking university degree and coaching for the rest of your life. Again, that's the big one. We can do a payment plan for you. We can work it out for you. So I'm here for you. I'd love to get you started. For those of you that are like listening to this for the first time, it's a lot to take in. Pray on it. Meditate on it. And then let's connect. And if this is a recording and it's a little bit old, I'm not doing anything with the pricing. Women are not, nobody, we all pay the same, but we will work out a payment plan to make it work for you. So reach out to me. And if it's not me, it might be Marta, it might be Jeanette, it might be one of our student advisors, but I'm going to be sharing this video for the next few weeks to come. And hopefully it just gives you a little kick in the butt to say, if not me, then who? And if not now, when? Thank you for your time tonight. Namaste. The light in me sees and recognizes and loves the light in you. Bye for now, everyone. I'm going to just end with a little Natalie Hughes, oh my sister, it is time. Stand up. I'll send you the links.
Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up. Oh, my Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up. Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up. Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up.